Hey, Lone Star Middle School students. I'm happy to be here after the rain last night. Got some more rest last night, so today let's tack our data that we've been gathering inside of our virtual field trip. Speaking of which, I'm going to open up my OneNote so you can see the information that I've been able to gather that I've made available in your weather section that you can find inside of. You can see Connor. I can't see any of Connor's data. So that's quite unfortunate. So I have to look over his shoulder. So if I go back to my Earth Science Master, your content library should have all of these sections up top, especially the weather one. And over on the right from our quizzes yesterday, I thought we did a great job because yesterday, each period, I'll show you, each period averaged about 58% on the quiz the first time. Second time, the average was about 80%. So showing growth. And in that third attempt, I had you aim for 90%, and most of the classes got between 88 and 92% in terms of showing me growth on the heat transfer specifically, conduction, convection, and radiation. So yesterday was a very productive day in terms of showing you what you know. Hopefully you can be able to do the same thing next week when we take ISATs. Remember the goal, if you guys improve your scores from last year to this year, I'm buying pizza and ice cream as a reward, not just as some food that you needed to eat as you go through the testing. But today what we're going to be doing with the virtual field trip information, looking at Astoria, Oregon that I've got here, temperature, humidity, wind, air pressure, elevation, latitude, the local winds, and then the closest ocean currents. I want to see if you were able to make any connections, and we're going to need one more piece of data. So let me click on here. Precipitation. I want to know how wet the area is based upon the rainfall. Some of the areas might have a snowfall, but mainly what we're looking at is rainfall. Based upon some of the causes of rainfall, the fact that it's right off the coast of, a lot of them are right off the coast of the ocean, provides a lot of moisture in the air. And so, because when the sun heats up the ocean starts to evaporate, and that puts a lot of moisture in the air. So the humidity level in a lot of those cities is extremely high. And then some of the areas have a very cold ocean current, so it doesn't evaporate as quickly. So if you take a look at the ocean currents that are around some of those cities, some of the cities have an extremely warm ocean current, and that provides them with even more moisture in the air than the areas where it's cold. So the rainfall should coincide with the water temperatures. Also with altitude, as you gain altitude, you decrease temperatures. Some of those other factors like air pressure, local winds, depending on where the winds come from, if they come from an area where it's warm over the ocean, it will provide a lot more heat for the evaporation to occur. Evaporation leads to precipitation, condensation, then precipitation. So the rainfall amounts are very affected by the oceans around them and by the currents and by the winds. Of course, all about seasons. Remember, the Earth is tilted at 23.5 degrees, and in certain times of the year, the angle isn't so intense, so there's not as much evaporation, not as much rain energy. If we could take a moment of silence, maybe 2 seconds, to think of what's going on in Notre Dame in Paris as it started to burn. Luckily, last night they stopped the fire, protected one of the most famous buildings on our planet. That was pretty significant. I've actually been in Notre Dame in Paris, so it was pretty significant when you hear that someplace that you've been has been on fire. There's my 2 seconds.